Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Hermit Skies. It's episode number 3. Check out the Enderman behind me, watching me as I'm walking around, always keeping an eye on me, making sure I'm doing some work. And I'll tell you what, I have been doing some work, okay? Check it out, I've expanded the island a little bit, we've got a place to get our food from, we've got a place to grow trees, I've set up the Tinker's Smeltery, and I've been preparing for what we're going to do today. I've got a whole list of things. We're going to fly through some of the early game stuff here. It's going to be awesome and lots of fun. But I did kill an Enderman using this thing over here, and I got ourselves a rare loot bag and an extra Ender Pearl, which is cool. Coal, that's decent. Lava Charm, that might be very useful when going into the Nether, and also some gold. So I'd say that was a pretty good bag, and apparently all I need to do is have this in my inventory, and I get this thing down here. Fascinating stuff. It also reminds me I've got no armor yet, and I don't think I need to craft any anytime soon. Anyway, let's come over to this thing. So I've set up the Tinker's Smeltery, right? And I spent a fair bit of time thinking about the layout, and this is what I have decided to do. So we've dropped down the platform a little bit. That was actually quite easy. All I did was took a water bucket, put it over the edge, sort of went below and placed a block. So that means the height of this thing feels just about right. But the height is important because we want this tank to actually be level with this fluid tank, because what we're going to make early on is some fluid conduits. Now, I've already made the binder. This is from stuff we've already got. And then we have quite clear glass, which will require us to have an alloy smelter. And we need redstone to do that. And that means we've got to upgrade some of our sievage action with iron. So we've got a lot of these iron ore chunky bits, the iron ore pieces, right? And then we put them together and we make the chunks, right? And then when we put them into the Tinker's Smeltery, they are going to double. So I've been smelting them in these furnaces, and if we put them in the smeltery, you get twice the amount of iron ingots out of it. Now, this thing isn't a valid smeltery at the moment. I believe the reason why is because there is a torch on the inside here. If I press F7 and we remove that, maybe I've got to press F7 again? Or was it F8? What was the button that brought up the lines? Well, I'll have to figure that one out later on. Maybe the lava tank now emits light, and that's why it's not showing any lines. That makes a lot of sense. Right, is this a valid... Yes, it's a valid smeltery now. Excellent, that's brilliant. Okay, so we're going to chuck in all of this iron. We're going to be doubling up all of those ores, and then we're going to be turning them into iron blocks at the front here. And then we're going to upgrade all of our sieves. So we're currently using string mesh, I believe, and we're going to upgrade that to iron. It requires 6 iron each. But I'm also going to upgrade the size of this, as you can actually do this in a 5x5 grid, I believe. And do I have an axe to hand? I don't. So we're going to do like we did with the Tinker's Smeltery. We're going to lower the platform a little bit, craft even more sieves, make more meshes, and then have a 5x5 grid in total. So 6 times 6 is 36. We got 38. It's time to finish this off. Bam, there we go. And look at this, a massive grid for us to work with. Now, while I was smelting all of that iron, I went and I took a lot of the cobble from over here, and it's actually gone straight back to full capacity already, although that thing's empty. Look at this, 8 stacks of gravel for us to use at once. This is going to be crazy right here. Okay. Using all of them at once. I think that's the largest size that you can do. And we just got diamonds! Yes! The chance of getting diamonds from gravel, by the way, is 0.8. Right. And then we could possibly even upgrade these again to diamond. Although, no, actually that would take me a very long time to get the right amount of diamonds. So, no. Bad idea. We'll leave them on iron for a while. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start getting loads and loads of gravel here, and getting loads of resources from it. But I do want to automate the creation of gravel, and before we get to that, we need to make our first alloy smeltery and our first sag mill as well, and we can do that now because we should be getting redstone. I've just realized the error of my ways. If we type, well actually if we just go right here and click on U for uses, you get redstone from dust. You don't get it from gravel. I was supposed to take that stuff all the way up to dust to get my redstone. Well, that's a little bit of a derp, I guess, but I've still got loads of gravel left, so that's alright. And there we go. We are now farming redstone. And one of the other things I'm looking forward to, apart from making our alloy smelter and our sag mill, is a redstone clock that we can put over there and start to automate some of that iron. In fact, those didn't fill up all the way, which means that that's empty. Okay, got to stock that up again. But yeah, we just absolutely burned through all of our iron there. And we also completed a quest as well. Let's pop into here. I believe it is this one. There we go, iron mesh. And we get a loot chest for that. Let's take this loot chest, let's open it up, and I've never seen these before. Mana lenses, they're from Britannia, which isn't one of my favourite mods. We might not even end up using that, but at least they look cool, right? Is this our chest for those sorts of things? There you go. They can have a home in there. Well, I've just finished crafting, and I tell you what, people, the noises in my ears, we must be completing loads of quests right now. And what we want to do is make our little conduit to move the lava over to here, right? So we're going to swap this around. We're also going to use this place to generate some power temporarily. And I was about to say I'm glad that didn't fall into the lava, but it looks like that's not actually going to burn up items that land on there. So let's move this thing over to the opposite side so that it's closer. And then on the opposite side we can restore the cobblestone automatically going in there. And then what I've crafted is a Stirling Generator. We're going to put this thing up here for now, like that. And then we need to give this thing a bucket, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there's a little bit of automation that's involved here. And somewhere I've got a bucket. Oh, like in my inventory. Oh, and by the way, I'm also trying to automate something over here. I needed a little bit more iron at the time. So when we make a hopper, what we can do is put the hopper pointing into the barrel here. I can, you know, put loads of saplings in there because we get loads of that. There's other things we can put in there as well. And that'll create dirt, and this hopper will take it out, and now we can start to farm dirt. But I wasn't quite done with that. But that's what I'm doing over there. So we need a bucket. We're going to put the bucket into here. And, oh, well, it needs lava in first. So we're going to put it in there first of all. And then we're going to set this thing up so it looks above and it pushes and pulls with the thing above. So it knows to go up here. And then when this thing is done, turning the lava into power, which it's doing at 30 after per tick, it's going to take the bucket back and then it's going to turn it into lava again, which is fantastic. So everything here is working really well. And I think did it just do it again, or did the icons here change? I think that this thing here has to go all the way down to 0 before it then takes the bucket and fills it up again. Or I might also require some configuration here. But I'll leave it alone and I'll see what happens. And now what we can do is put an alloy smelter to the side of it, because that means that we are generating power. This thing is automatically taking that power. And over here, I got some glass on the go. We've got exactly 9, which I believe is going to then make exactly 3 of the glass we need to make the conduit. No, we actually only need 3, of course, right. But with this we'll be able to move the fluid across automatically, which is going to be amazing. So the deal with this stuff though, the fluid conduit, the basic one, is that I think the liquids can only go downwards, so they sort of obey the laws of gravity, meaning that we can bring it across like this, but we wouldn't be able to push it upwards, which is why we're going across like that. Then later on, when we can craft a better one, we can go down underneath, and behind that chest there's a little gap deliberately for it. So this one should be set to insert, and then this one should be set to extract and always active, and through goes the lava. And I think if we could click on that, oh, we can't actually see, but there you go, we're filling it up. It's actually full now, I think. So we have got a load of quests to do, to claim rewards from even. And now we can automate that. So yeah, I can chuck all my saplings in here. They'll go down and they'll start to make dirt, which is fantastic. Let's open up that quest book, because we've done some stuff from the Ender.io part of this. Look at that, loads of stuff to claim right here. Okay, so, well, I guess I'm going to go through and click on all of these, right? So that's a total of 5 loot chests. 5 loot chests in a row, peeps. Storage upgrades, not a bad thing to have. Flask of adrenaline, already got one of those. Epic bacon, more epic food. Another flask of magma skin. And last of all, more epic bacon. So, nothing actually terribly useful. Stuff we've seen before. So, with this conduit binder and some of this conductive iron over here, we're going to be able to make the basic energy conduits. So we can move some of this energy from here over to this area, where I'm going to be setting up a bunch of sag mills. For today though, we're just going to be setting up the one, because what I want to do is get tons and tons of gravel and tons of coal. So below this, we're going to have a bunch of item conduits going into each of these drawers in the front. They're going to be able to take the cobblestone from the side here, I believe, as well, or if not, the machine up above would be able to grab it from there. And then in each of these we're going to have gravel, sand and flint, and the item conduit should end up moving all of these things around into this sag mill so that it can make tons and tons of gravel. We need to generate that lava faster. This thing needs an upgrade because we're running out of lava over here. What I decided to do was move it around here over to this tank and generate the power at this point just to be a little bit more efficient with the amount of resources that we're using. Because we've got energy conduits back over here, moving the energy to the sag mill, and then a really simple network of conduits to move the items around, like the cobblestone is going to go from the hopper up to the top here. And then we're generating lots of gravel. But the thing is, I like to generate it even faster. One of the ways that we can do that is with a double layered capacitor, and that will require some energetic alloys, which are made of redstone, glowstone and gold, things that we all have now, so we can upgrade the speed of it. But we also need to supply it with more power, and the way we're going to do that is by making some solar panels. Okay, there are many different tiers of these. You should also get some questing rewards for unlocking them. So we're going to start off by making only 2 of those. No, I need a lot more than that. I think I need at least 8. There we go. We've got 8 of the tier 1s, and then if you surround them on a piston, then you get the tier 2. And we should hear another little questing noise in a second. There it goes. Excellent. We will open those rewards shortly. Let's slap that on top, and now it's getting even more power and it's going even faster. Right, that is fantastic. Into the quest book we go. And it is this one right here, Generation Revolution. We have just got the first one, we'll take that, and we've got the second one as well, nice. Cryo-stabilized flux duct, and in the other one, lithium dust. So now the grind begins. We need coal, because in this pack there is something called carbon, which happens to be absolutely brilliant for making Tinker's tools with. Now this carbon is made over here, like this. You've got to make a compressor. Oh dear, this stuff looks complicated, right, and expensive. Well, don't worry, because you can also use a Tinker's smeltery, and that means we can make the Tinker's tools with them. But these carbon ingots require raw carbon, and the raw carbon is made from blocks of coal that have been smelted. So that's why we're after all of this gravel and going for it here. And this thing, by the way, running really fast, got 2 solar panels now. The textures at the top connect, but they do not pass power through one another. So you need a conduit like this to move it into there. And with that upgrade as well, we are just producing this stuff super fast. Look at that. I've already got another stack to go through again. So we now have some sublimated carbon, and that is 1 block and 2 ingots. And I believe the material cost of this is 2, then 4, because it's 2 as well. That's 2 as well, so 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we need 1 block to turn all of that into carbon. However, 1 or 2 of the things I might make iron as well, which makes it magnetic, and then it pulls the items towards you, which could be useful. But it means that we can convert all of those, and I got some gold here ready as well, because now what we got to do is make the casts so that we can make all of that. That works out really well, and it turns out that iron isn't what we wanted, because this already has magnetic. In fact, it has magnetic too. Now if we look over here, the durability is 250, the modifier is 1, and you do get hellish, but the real reason we're using this is because of mining speed 200, which is absolutely mental, right? So if we go back to our tool materials and we look at copper, this has well established, which gives you XP, and so I figured, hey, we might need XP for site, why don't we put copper on there? So that's what our handles are going to be made out of. So we can make ourselves a pick like this, and this thing is going to instant mine. It's going to be absolutely awesome. And then we can make a mattock, which is like a shovel and an axe combined together. So we can use it on trees and we can use it on dirt. Don't even be foolish enough to think that X is going to use this on the tree, right? At least not with vein miner. So let's check it out. Instant mine, and we get some XP as well. I guess if I vein mine that, I'll get a load of XP, right? But the thing is, it's going to use up the durability, and it's not like it's got a crazy amount of durability. But for this one time, we're going to use it, and apparently vein miner didn't want to work that time. But we got a little bit of XP from that, not as much as I thought we'd get. And this also works on dirt as well, so it's a shovel and an axe combined. Bam, instant mine on that as well, some XP, thank you very much. And then we got our pick, which can instant mine as well. It can instant mine cobble. How cool is that? We got instant mine tools early on. Got to be super careful using them around here, though. It's going to be so easy to break stuff, which is something that I want to keep in mind, of course. Well, there you go. If you've been playing along, you've seen how we've gotten ourselves to some epic tools over here. And we are going to automate putting some iron into here now, because we are going to need a lot of iron in the next episode. Going to be doing something very, very cool over there. And of course, we'll probably make a carbon sword as well, as that'll be a good thing to have to defend ourselves from the Enderman intruders. But peeps, that's going to be the end of this episode. If you have enjoyed it, then leave a like. As always, thank you for your support on this series. I do hope you're enjoying it, and we'll be back soon with another episode of Hermit Skies. So ciao for now, bye bye.